I'm recording this church leader tool at the beginning of 2017, and I thought it might be particularly helpful to talk about how you accomplish your tasks and getting organized. I think in a new year, sometimes that is a New Year resolution. So this church leader tool is going to be on the simple idea of getting things done. That's a system for organizing your tasks. And then I'm also going to show you how I organize my tasks using a website called ToDoIst. So getting things done is an immensely popular, multi-million-dollar selling book by David Allen. Just to give you an idea how popular getting things done is, if you search under getting things done in Amazon, you'll find there are over 2,000 books that link to this title and this way of organizing your tasks. So it's very, very helpful. And you can learn more about this on David Allen's website, gettingthingsdone.com. If I had to summarize the entire book in one simple statement, I know you're not supposed to do that, but just to give you the basic idea of getting things done, this would be the statement. It's organizing all of your tasks, both things you're currently working on and things that will come up in the future, in a reliable, flexible, an easily prioritized method to focus your entire energy and creativity on completing those tasks in a stress-free, productive, and efficient manner. So let me break that statement down a little bit just to help you think a little bit more about how you get things done. So you want a way to organize, to keep track of all of your tasks, things that you're currently working on and things that are coming up in the future that you can easily record and have them taken care of as well. You want that to be reliable, not something you can ever lose, something you're sure will be around. You want it to be flexible. You want it to work for however you accomplish your tasks. And you want an easy way to be able to organize them, to prioritize them, to get done the things that most need to get done at any given time. And Allen's theory is that when you get this reliable, flexible, easily organized system, then your mind isn't being cluttered with all of the things that you have to do. He says that gives you a lot more freedom to be able to think about the things you need to work on. And I think there's a lot to that. You get it all down and recorded, and then you can work on whatever you need to work on. So he has 5 basic steps to this idea. The first of those is to collect them. This is especially important when you're just getting organized. You take Post-it notes, places you've written things down, whatever other places, and you consolidate them one place. You get them all collected. You process them all. You get them all written down. You get them all recorded. They're all in the same system where you can work with them. And then you organize them. You prioritize them. You put them in the groupings or the classifications that are most helpful, and then you're regularly reviewing those tasks. What do you need to work on in any given day? And then you're accomplishing those tasks. Those are the 5 simple ways that he describes that. So what I want to do now is I want to tell you the system that I use and the website, the resource that I use. You may not use this, but if you've been looking for a place to organize your tasks, you might find this helpful. Certainly, as I describe it, you might get some ideas for whatever system you currently use. So I use a website, a multi-platform, really, a task organizer called ToDoIst, ToDoIst. It's found at ToDoIst.com. And you can go to that website, check it out. One of the things I love about ToDoIst is it really fits into Allen's idea of organizing all your tasks. It helps you keep track of the things you're working on now and things that will come up in the future. I'll explain that. It's incredibly reliable. It all gets stored on the internet. I've never lost anything on there. And it's multi-platform. I use it on a website. I'm a PC guy, but it's available on Apple as well. I use it on my phone. I use it on my tablet. I can access it from any computer anywhere. It's very, very user-friendly in terms of being available in any way that you want to be organized, you can be. And it's also very, very easy to organize your tasks and prioritize them. It's what I like about ToDoIst. You'll also like that at its most basic function, it's completely free. They also do have a pro version that you pay for, and I've found that helpful, and I do that as well. I don't make anything from letting you know that, but you can use the free version and probably be very pleased. So let me walk you around ToDoIst, and again, I think some of what I describe may help you even if you don't use ToDoIst, just to kind of get a little bit better organized. So I'm going to show you around the ToDoIst website. So in the upper left is just the home key. I like that the home key always takes me to today's tasks. That's what pops up first. So then moving over to the right is the search bar. Easily search through your tasks. Then you have the add bar, which is where you add tasks. There's also notifications from ToDoIst. It keeps track of how many tasks you've accomplished. You'll notice that I'm coming up on 12,000 tasks. So I obviously use this a lot and have found it very effective. And then there's also settings. So going back over to the left-hand side and going down the list there's an inbox. Any new task not organized to a project, I'll mention that in a moment, goes in the inbox, and it tells you how many there are there. Next over the tasks for today, or usually for myself, I organize them by the tasks for a particular week, and it also shows you the next 7 days. So then the next section down are the projects, and those are the different responsibilities that you have. I think in the free version you can have something like 80 different projects, way more than you'd need, but it helps you group the tasks that you have. And I try and keep just some basic functions. So the first of those projects is my church responsibilities. I have there those tasks. Let me say a little bit more about each of those projects, because there's some helpful settings that you can click on in each project. One of the things you can do is share a project with someone else. Someone else that you work with can have access to the tasks, so you can work on them together. You also can link that project to your calendar if you use an online calendar, and you can see your tasks on that calendar. I don't use that function, but I can see for some folks that would be very helpful. You can also link your project to an email. It gives you an email address for every project. And what this means is if you get an email that has a particular project inherent, something you need to work on, you can forward that email to a project. It'll appear as well as all the text from that email. It takes your emails and moves them over to projects. So then the next one down for me is my Leadership Development Director responsibilities. I mentioned that there are shared projects. I have a virtual assistant. She doesn't even live in the same state as me, but she has access to my ToDoIst and shared tasks. So that way, when I have a project for her, I put that right in there and we work on them collaboratively. Then I also have a couple of projects that you might find helpful, even if you use a different system. So I have a project called Delegated and Waiting. When I give an assignment or a responsibility to somebody else, I put that in that section, and that way it's set aside. It's not confusing with the things that I need to do, and I can periodically check in and then check with somebody that I've delegated something to and see if they're working on that. I also have one set aside for personal. Those are things that I work on, when I have personal time. I've also found it very helpful to have a project called Dated and Repeating. And these are tasks where I don't need to work on them yet. Maybe in a couple months I have something to work on, but you don't want to leave that sitting around in your daily, I see that every day, but I don't need to work on it for 3 months. So I put in a task and I put in a date of when I need to start working on that task, and then I put it in that project, and it's set aside for the right time. The repeated tasks are immensely helpful. These are tasks that, some of them weekly tasks that I just get weekly reminders. Some of them are monthly tasks. I don't want to have to think about them until it's the right time to do that. Something like writing a church council report. I get a reminder when I need the reminder. Some of my tasks, in fact, only come up once a year. Like end of year taxes, you can put in every December 15th, remind me to do whatever that task is. And again, I don't have to think about or see that task until the proper time, and then I get reminded and it pops up in my tasks. Immensely helpful. And then I also have a home shared projects that I use with my wife. You can also add projects and then archive projects and have them later if you need to look back at them. So also in that section, you can label tasks. I don't currently use that function, to be honest. And you can also filter tasks. I don't use that function either, but if you need it, it's there. Other ways to organize those tasks. So let me say a little bit about adding a task. So you click that plus bar, and in ToDoIst, you would get a place where you fill in the particular task, and you can fill in the date. Again, you can postpone that. Say, you know what, I want to work on this next month. And if you put it in a separate place, you won't see it until next month. Very, very helpful. It also has a place where you can enter. And if I was using this live and hovered over this, you would see the labels come up. But there you can assign which project it goes into. The next one over is the labels that I mentioned. So that function, again, I don't use that. Reminders is very, very helpful. I mentioned that you can postpone those tasks until the proper time. You can receive a reminder both through ToDoIst, through email, and you can even have it texted to you. Put your cell phone number in there, and you can be reminded by text about a project, a task you need to accomplish. The flags are helpful. There's 4 of them, different colors that prioritize those. So when you put in a task, you can put in the priority of whether it's lesser important, just some ideas that you want to hold on to, some things to work in the future, and things you need to work on right away. And then last, the comment section. I find this very helpful. This is a place where you can dump a whole lot of text or other ideas you need. You can attach documents. You can even click the microphone button and on your cell phone, record an audio memo to yourself of whatever the specifics of that task are. If you were to forward an email, in the comment section, the entire text of an email would pop into there. So it's got lots and lots of function to help organize your different tasks. Well, I hope that has been helpful just to give you an idea about how I organize my tasks. I hope that helps you to get organized yourself, to accomplish more for whatever ministry or whatever responsibilities you have. And then, as always, I encourage you to share this with somebody else you know who might be blessed by this church leader tool. Take care and God bless.